Hi, it's David C. Jones before the curtain goes up, and the curtain's going up on the cutest little show. I think it's going to be profound and cute, and I actually have a weird little odd connection to it in an odd way, which I'm going to surprise the director about. So let's meet Caitlin. Hi, Caitlin.
Hi, David.
Hi. So we childish. This is the Sunny Drake
Yeah,
concept, I guess, because he's compiled stuff. Tell us, childish. Tell us what's going on.
sure. And I'm just to clarify, I'm not actually directing the show. Lois Anderson is directing it.
Oh,
So
yes, I
I,
apologize.
that's okay. That's okay. I just want to make sure credit is given where credit is due. I am merely here as artistic director of Pacific Theater, but big fan of Lois, and she's the one directing. She's actually in rehearsal, which is why I'm going to chat about it because she's busy working.
Okay.
So yeah, so this play is called Childish. It's written by Sunny Drake, amazing playwright, originally from Australia, but now based in Toronto, but has
Yeah.
actually been out here for the entire month of our rehearsals. So he's here with us and in the room, which is so amazing to have that privilege of the playwright being right there with us. Because he's here, because it's a world premiere, so never been done before, brand new show.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, it's really exciting. So it is a concept. It's a theatrical experiment. Sunny, I'll tell you maybe the story of how the show came to be or the original
Sure.
um, seed of the idea. Sunny was at a friend's house years ago, and his friend had a kid, 7 years old, and the 7-year-old was on the couch and was devastated, weeping because they had had a friend break up at school that day, and was
Oh.
just so, I know, overwrought and emotional. And Sunny was sort of sitting and listening and tending to the kid. And 5 minutes later, the kid started doing cartwheels on the couch and was over it and on to the next thing. And Sunny was so struck by this moment of this kid like moving through this emotion and thought to himself like I've had uh I've I've dealt with heartbreak for years, not 5 minutes like this kid. So he was really got curious in this moment about kids and their sense of play and their sense of fluidity and how they kind of learn and process and why we forget that as adults. So that was sort of the
Wow.
original question. And so with that question in mind, he thought, okay, well, what else could I learn from kids? So he interviewed over the course of a few years, ended up interviewing over 40 kids.
Nice.
And the interviews were all questions about it started with questions about love and relationships, because that's where the original idea was. But then the interviews blossomed and grew into all manner of things the kids actually wanted to talk about. It sort of reversed, and the kids started sort of dictating the conversations, which is so
Nice.
fun. And then at the end, he had thousands of pages of material and interviews and all the thoughts and questions and curiosities of these children. And he wondered, perhaps other adults might listen to these kids better,
Oh,
more, if adults were actually the ones saying the kids' words. So
nice.
that's the concept. So there's 5 adult actors in the play, and they are speaking these kids' words to the adult audience. It's really important to make clear that the adults are not playing kids.
Right, they're playing
Yeah,
adults.
they're playing adults. That might be terrible to watch adults just play kids. They're not talking like children. They're really trying to give weight and meaning and importance to these kids' words.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Because yeah,
So
it's not like that YouTube channel, the with it, what's his name, David from the comedy department did for a while when his kid was young, or I don't even know if it was his kid, but they recorded it and then he would lip sync the kid.
yes,
So,
the conversations with my 2-year-old, is that?
yeah, that's the one. That's
Yeah, yeah,
the one.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So that's sort of maybe a
cousin.
yeah, totally a cousin, like like this show has some relatives. It makes me think sometimes of Big, that Tom Hanks
Oh yeah.
film, right? Like where he's sort of body snatched, or like Freaky Friday
Oh, Freaky
reversed.
Friday.
Freaky Friday is another one. Do you know that amazing documentary series? It's a British one called Seven
20,
Up.
7 Up, yeah, and then
Yeah, yeah,
14 up and 28 up.
yeah, yeah. And so you see the child inside the grown up. That's sort of
Lovely.
what this piece is like, and then the actual story of the play. Sonny Drake is actually a character in the play, and you're watching him interview these kids, and you kind of watch the process of this interview.
So it does strike me, and I'm not being critical. Well, I guess I am. Maybe I'm couching it. Uh, how do you build a narrative, like a three-act structure with this? Is it how he's
Yeah,
themed the conversations?
yeah, I yes, there is some structure in terms of the watching the playwright, this interviewer character, start out with these questions, and where, like I said, where the kids start to turn it on him, and
Yes.
it kind of breaks down. But I would say people should relax their hopes for a narrative three-act structure. And
Hello, welcome. Please relax your hopes for narrative
yeah,
structure and just let it wash over you.
just I think, um like you said, this is a concept, or sometimes we joke that it's like an experiment, a theatrical
Neat.
experiment. I would set people up for this show, come in expecting an event.
Yes.
So, which is kind
That's
of my, to be honest, like my favorite kind of theater, like a
yeah.
play that could not happen in any other form. And it truly is at its essence like a celebration of play. So get ready for that, and for something totally different, and know, yeah, it's going to be different than a traditional three-act
Well,
structure
yeah.
play, which I think is fine.
And no, totally. There's great validity in exploring a theme. Some of my favorite pieces are it's just being clear that there's these kind of stories and there's these kind of
Yeah, it's just
experiences.
different. It's
Yeah, it's just
totally
different. Yeah.
different. I watched a run through yesterday, and I thought, yeah, I've really never seen or like sat and watched anything like this. So
Nice, nice.
yeah.
Uh, I'm gonna quickly jump in with this thing here. So this, God Bless Love, back when I was in high school, I found this book in the library, and it had things like, oh, it's hard to see with my screen, guinea pigs like peace and stuff. It's handwritten drawings of kids' thoughts on things. And
Oh my
I
goodness.
created a play where it was really high concept. It was the actors were doing this dialogue, but then they would morph into adults, and I used scenes from plays like Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf and look back in anger, and then it was back into the kids as they explored this attic. And so it was way too ambitious. It was like none of the high school actors could do the children actors or the Osborne play. Uh,
I love it though. This is another cousin of this play.
yeah, and well, look, and I stole it from the library.
You still have it. That book looks amazing. That looks like our show. I'm gonna tell Sunny about this book. That's a hilarious.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe
so
I'll bring
you
it when
know
I
it.
come.
Yeah, do. Oh, he would love to see it. Yeah. Yeah, that's so funny. Okay, so you get exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, because the same thing with this. There's no narrative to this book. It's just delight. It's just delight, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Delight, and I think that there's I think that there's it's of course the show is funny because the kids say the darndest things, kind of chaos and delight for sure. And then there's surprises about what the kids are aware of, and what the kids are, our current generation of children that are coming up behind us, what they are reckoning with, I think could surprise some adults too. So it's also it has more depth than just uh, fun and cute, although it definitely has that.
One of the things too that I think I've gotten very heavy all of a sudden is whenever because we're in such a VUCA world, right? Volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous, that the other thing that kids offer, and you're a mom, so you know this, is hope, right? There's
Totally,
so much hope, and I
totally.
have a feeling this play will engender in the audience hope.
100%. A hope, a radical acts of hope, and a reminder to me, even if you're not a parent or you don't have kids in your life, you were a kid. So
What?
that I know, and we forget that. And so that's also for me, watching it and sort of witnessing these children is a reminder of who's still also alive in me, that 7-year-old alive in me, right? And the perhaps radical hope I once had. So absolutely, yeah, that's definitely a part of this show.
Now, for opening night, because you're in rehearsals now and opening night's coming soon, are there going to be any? Because I'm assuming because they interviewed 40 people across Canada. Are some of the kids local, and are they going to be in the audience?
Yeah, so the original 40 kids were all based in Toronto. I
Oh, okay.
don't know if any of them are able to come out to see this. I'm sure they would love to, and they've lots of them have grown up now, so that would be amazing if they do get to come. But locally, so part of the intent of Sunny's work is to also collaborate with local kids. So Pacific Theater is actually working with 15 children, if you can believe it, as kid collaborators on the show. So they've visited us in rehearsal and given their thoughts. They've made the playlist for the pre-show music. We're going to feature some of their artwork in the lobby, and so yes, and I should say that again, part of the uh, surprise and delight of this show is that Sunny worked with these kids to flip the script. Usually adults make plays for kids, and in this play, so kids are working with adults to make a play for adults. And a paying professional theater company is working with them, and the kids love that. Of course, it feels so empowering to them, and we are really taking them seriously. And so kids are welcome at this show. We're saying it's probably appropriate for ages 8 and up, but it's not a show for kids. So that's
Yeah.
just a funny thing to make sure everyone is clear about. It is a play for adults made with kids. And you should visit our website, pacifictheater.org, if you're interested in bringing a kid with you, just to have a look at what some of the content is, because
Yeah.
it does, like I say, go into some it's not all cute and unicorns. There's definitely that, but there's
Yeah.
some content warnings that people should be aware of.
Yeah, that's I think I saw that you advertised that to point out this is not a show for children.
Yeah.
It's not that it's saucy or X-rated, but it's also not. There's lots of good children's theater in the city. There's other companies that are doing it. Pacific Theater has maybe done that in the past, maybe with Lion Witch and the Wardrobe and stuff like that, but this is not one of those shows, and you need
Yeah,
very
it's not
clear.
TYA. Yeah, it's for adults. Kids can come and give their thoughts afterwards, but it's a play for adults.
So one of the things that's interesting is you're doing a number of previews, and previews, of course, is a cheaper ticket price. Talk about that.
Yeah, so we're gonna have 5 previews for this show. They
Wow.
start February 9th. Yeah, 9th, 10th, 2 on the 10th, and then 14th and 15th. And the tickets are there's all sorts of deals. They start at $24, but you can even get a 2-for-1. We're doing $20 tickets on Valentine's Day. You can bring a date or a friend. So yeah, check out our website. There's lots of great opportunities to see the show on accessible price.
Nice. Yeah, the Arts Club does like a week long of previews before they open a show. It's when a show's sort of just making little tiny tweaks about what works, what doesn't work, and it's super, super fun to see it uh, uh, on preview as well. Cool. It sounds just lovely, and I got emotional when I said it's about hope. Because we all need that. So thank you, Caitlin, for programming it.
Yes.
And I so look forward to seeing it, and I know Vancouver does too. Here, tell the audience, tell Vancouver Presents why they should come and see this show. Look right at your camera and give them a pitch. Go.
Hi, Vancouver Presents audience. Thanks for watching. You should come see this show because, like I said, it's like nothing you have ever seen before. It is dark and gloomy. And like David said, it's a hard world right now out there. And I think everyone could use an injection of delight and play and hope. So come get it at Pacific Theater at Childish.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for taking time. Your baby stayed asleep for the whole interviews, and
I
that's
know,
great.
amazing. Yes.
Well, thank you so much, Caitlin. Have a great
Thanks,
day.
David. Okay,
Bye.
bye.